We were delayed on a bunch of different levels in starting this recording.
I mean, Subway kind of caught on fire.
Yeah, so there was a subway fire today.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that's in the news here in Toronto. General lateness on the part of Kevin and Mo. We are taping this in person. This is the first recording in person we're doing since an episode we taped in August when all 5 of us were around the table here at 6 Points. Plus, we've been munching on mochi donuts for the last 20 minutes.
And they are very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Isabella.
That's the name of the place. Maybe we'll link it. Maybe.
They claim to be the world's best mochi donuts, and they're good.
I like them. I'm not totally sure where they really rank, but yeah, they're good.
So, see, whenever I buy one, I try to only buy 1 or 2, unless my sister's pitching in for a box as well, because if I bought a box for myself, 2 days max, they're done.
It's over. How much is a box there?
About 20-something dollars.
20-something, yeah.
And this is like for half a dozen?
Yeah.
Is it?
They're
for
like
6?
they're like 3-something a piece.
Per, yeah.
And try and get closer to the microphone here.
Yeah, it's like 3-something for 1, yes.
Yeah. So there's...
See, what they do to get you is that they do rotate their flavors every week.
True that.
And they do have like a generic glazed one that will usually just be on offer all the time, but
Then they'll...
Every week, something new.
yeah, they'll rotate it, and then you might not see a flavor for a few weeks. So that's how they get the FOMO out of people.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. There's a bunch of other things there, but yeah. So that's been one of the delays. The other thing is it does take a little bit of time to set up the makeshift studio we have here at 6 Points if we do this in person. And I'll be quite honest with you, it's, I guess at my age, it's becoming a little bit more and more of a drain. So, and this is sort of a test run for when we do Anime North next month. So I may have to at least change up the routine about how we do the setup. Because as it is, everything, both the new and the old equipment are kept in the same case at this moment. And it's probably not a good idea. I tried carrying all that last year at Anime North, and it took a toll on me. To the point where, well, I wasn't there most of the time, but Sunday I was not physically in good shape by that point, and I was bedridden.
Oh no.
For most of that day, and when I finally got up, I was not feeling good at all. So, but then again, doing any live recording tends to be draining, I guess.
Oh, I remember that one year where I got con crud, and then I was supposed to show up, and then I couldn't in the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's sort of where we are.
This was pre-pandemic, by the way.
Yeah. So there's that. And then the third thing, before we really get right down to it, and this isn't an excuse. It's just, actually, there'll be 4 things. The other thing that I decided to do today, being my day off from work, I went all the way down to High Park since Sakura season and the full blooms are probably reaching their climax. We're probably less than a week away from it ending.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's that golden period.
That golden period for High Park, or the annoying period for the residents around High Park.
I mean, technically, all the time is annoying time for people who live near High Park.
Well, it's not just High Park. There's Trinity Bellwoods as well.
If you're in Mississauga, it's
Caria Park. Yeah,
Caria Park, which I haven't visited. And that was the only time I really witnessed any significant sakura blossoms in Caria Park. So this is the first time I could recall ever seeing High Park's blossoms. Okay?
Did you do the full walk?
I walked around the whole, as much as I could on the time I gave myself to do that. and it's nice. I don't know how it compares to the Korea blossoms. It's just, I know that, there's different types of breeds of sakura.
True.
So I don't know how the breeds of trees in High Park compare or with the ones in Korea Park and Trinity Bellwoods and the JCCC.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard Momiji Center as well.
They're popping up everywhere, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I saw them at the JCCC last week when I went to go see Shin Ultraman with a friend.
Yeah, so I don't know how they differ. I guess they differ in terms of maybe sturdiness of the blossoms, maybe certainly their color, and I guess when each of the individual trees would reach their peak. Although they tend to be roughly the same time anyway. So it was a nice walk. It was I'd been visiting High Park with friends in recent weeks and months, and this was the busiest I'd seen it.
On a Monday too, right?
On a Monday, yeah. Parking is always an issue around there this time of year. For this couple weeks, they close off all parking in High Park, and the residents in the area want that permanently. I know that, but nonetheless, that's what it is right now. During off peak for Sakura, the parking is open, and I think during weekends they close the parking. So there's that. Although I'm gonna play a thought with you.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, from my observations there today, and this is more of comedic observations.
Okay.
Was it the number of dogs? There's usually a lot of dogs.
Well, the thing is that's chances are if I gave an over or under, it would probably still be over. So what do you think I saw more of?
Dogs or babies?
No. First of all, what do you think I saw? What? No. Dogs or babies? That's what I wasn't thinking. But the short answer is it's still.
Dogs?
I still take the over.
Okay.
But more dogs, actually. More dogs.
Definitely.
I don't know, a lot of dinks out there nowadays.
That's true.
Over the years, whenever I talked
That
about
was a bad thing.
when I talked about seeing people during Sakura season, I think is the proper term Hanabi?
I believe so.
I believe it's Hanabi, yes.
Yeah. I wondered, especially here in Toronto, I always made the joke, you'll probably see a lot of cosplay photography shoots.
Oh, yeah,
around this time
without
of
a
year.
doubt.
100%.
Okay.
You'll see some of that.
So, but you know what I ended up seeing? I ended up seeing today?
Animals cosplaying?
Oh,
No, not that. No. Wedding shoots.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think I saw more of there today?
That's good.
What do you think I saw more of there today?
I want to say weddings.
I still think you saw more animals than
Well, forget
people
that.
in
That
formal
goes
attire.
without saying. That goes without saying.
Yeah,
So
I'm going-
forget that.
I'm-
That's not a contest.
I'm going weddings. I'm guessing Kevin's gonna go cosplay.
No, I think it'll be more wedding people in formal wedding attire.
Not necessarily formal wedding attire, just engagement and wedding shoots. Just engagement shoots, generally
Okay.
speaking. Not just wedding, but I'll lump them in as the same. So what do you think I saw more of?
Engagement weddings.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Wedding
And-
people.
And you'd be correct. I saw 3.
But let me guess, you saw 2 cosplay shoots.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
For a Tuesday afternoon, and we are taping this on Tuesday evening, April 25th. There you go.
What did they dress up as?
Nothing, characters I wouldn't recognize at this stage of my life.
I love that. That's the perfect answer.
That's the best. That's my most honest answer. So this tells you how.
Aging yourself, Mike.
Well,
No, hey,
but
it's the truth, man. It's the truth.
That's where we are, dude. That's where we are. I mean, Mo and I are, and Mo's some years younger than me.
Yeah, Mo and I are not that far apart in age.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, so there's that thought, and I thought it was just fun to see it. This is my only real day off to see it, so I'm glad I did it. And considering how the pandemic has been,
Oh, it's nice to see things open up.
just a little, yeah. I mean, it's very, very open, but it's not the same.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's getting there. Don't worry, it's getting there.
And, well, what's the quote? What's the word I use? New normal? Common phrase. Common phrase we hear these days. Okay. So I hinted in the last episode, and by the way, we are taping this, and I have not touched episode 81 in
Guys
any
are getting
form.
a double. What?
So
An
this will
episode
be,
and a space heater.
yeah. This space heater will probably be out a day or so after.
A preview to an episode that has already been recorded.
Yeah.
Although, since we talked about TCAF in the episode, ideally we would have that out before TCAF.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it'll be out. It'll be out before TCAF. I
Hey,
anticipate.
check out the
I'm
market.
pulling-
It's open, guys. TCAF market's open.
I am pulling an all nighter. I think to get that up tonight
Okay.
or early in the morning. So I'll do my best to do that because this is really my only chance. Because once I go back to work, it's over.
I just
On
think of
Wednesday
that
evening.
Drake song, and it's over, and
Yeah.
it's over.
Okay, so a thought. I also hinted that Mo has been working on the revamp of the website,
I
which
have.
which might be outdated. The idea of doing a website for this
Yeah,
podcast.
you still need a place to digitally present yourself that everyone knows is a common place. You know, with all those random demonetizations and I don't know what it's called. You know, you just lose your channels and shit, man.
You know, for the longest time, for the other podcasts I listened to, like Anime World Order, I was still using their built-in video
a lot of
player
people still do.
to do that. Yeah.
I think people have told me they still use the website, so I apologize because it's so badly outdated. Not updated properly. I just get to put the episode on, but I don't put links of interest. Mo has been working behind the scenes to redo the website. Hopefully, we'll get that up before the end of the calendar year.
Fingers crossed, guys.
Fingers crossed. But there's one thing I wanted to add when we do that. Okay, because Mo had a little fun when he showed me a few things that he had been working on and just stuff that just to have a little fun. So he decided to run both this podcast's name and our individual names through Chat GPT.
Okay.
It was hilarious what came out.
I will say, out of everyone in the group, Mike was the only one notable enough to get a response.
It's hilarious. So there's a little thing, and find out what it says about me. It's actually the most flattering thing I've ever read about myself.
Did it mention your brief history with Anime News Network?
No.
Okay.
Wait. Give me a second. I have to check. I actually have to check the photos now because
I keep my social media.
I don't. But this is not
distinct
social
enough
media.
that it's kind of hard to trace me
That
to some levels.
well,
Like I use different handles for most of my
no.
social media.
I use my. See, I just actually used my name, and we've never hidden our names, right?
Nope.
We
No.
don't have through which in retrospect I don't know if it was the wisest move.
I don't know, man. Once I become prime minister, this might come back to bite me in the ass.
No, I've worked in HR, so it would have been better if I hid my name, to be honest.
Well, I'd like to think I haven't done too much, too many horrible things. I'd like to think I haven't done it, but it was just hilarious what it referred to me as, right? Yeah,
Okay.
It did refer to me as like a journalist. It referred to me as a translator.
Okay.
Yeah, it referred to somebody who headed a YouTube channel, which is technically true, but let's be honest.
Well, Mike, there are probably thousands of people with your name.
That is true too.
Pun not intended.
No, that's yeah, I know. Especially considering where we're going with this conversation in a bit. That is probably true. Yeah, I'm just looking at what was said, but give me a sec. I should have pulled this up when we were talking about this, like just before I hit the record button. So I will just do this now, so I just remember what it said about me. We're doing this in real time, folks.
The exciting world of Space Heater chat, guys.
So I'm just trying to remember what it may have said about me, past conversations.
Okay, so while you look at that, I'll just wax poetic about stuff I've read, I guess. So, I read, I think I alluded this to the last recording at the very end. I don't know if it made it over, but I am just about caught up with the English release of a certain scientific railgun.
Oh, yes, you didn't. Yes.
I wish I was into this series when it was popular 10 years ago.
Because you would, because of the. It would have been really a really interesting discussion at the time.
It's a lot of fun. It's such a fun read. And I think it's a Dengeki Gaio series, so like it has its fair share of like fan servicey moments, but nothing too salacious.
Okay.
It's like a sister series to a certain magical index. So you do see characters from Index popping in here and there, but they're more or less separate from each other. Misaka is such a cool protagonist. She is very powerful, and the author makes every attempt to show that like she can take you down if you mess with her or her friends. But at the same time, she is a normal girl just like anybody else.
I it's just weird, but isn't it kind of fun just to discover older series? Like 10 years is older and old
It
enough.
is, yeah.
Like I mean, as I got back into things, it was Toradora for me, right? And I would have been fascinated to watch what the reactions were like at the time it came out. So
it was pretty big back then.
So I can relate to the idea.
Yes. And although she is not my favorite character, Misaki is my favorite character because she is just all matters of awesome. She is so gorgeous. Those twinkly eyes are really cute. And I finally have the context for all those doujinshi that were made of her.
Damn.
Okay.
All right.
Because
Well,
years ago, you would stumble upon these, and then there were so many of them, or there are so many of them. I thought, who is this girl? And then now I finally understand. But besides from that, though, I do feel like with Railgun, the arcs are not too long. So one arc could maybe last, I don't know, 20 chapters, 30 chapters max sometimes. It's really not that long. Sometimes as short as 10 chapters to like start and wrap up an arc depending on the length. So it's not that bad. I feel like usually at most 2 or 3 books, like they'll have started and concluded an arc. It's just that now in North America, they've basically caught up with Japan. And I believe it is a monthly release in Japan. So you're looking at a 1 year plus wait between books now in North America.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the episode. Is that a good thing?
Well, you're caught up, right? So there's really no way for people to like. There's really little excuse for people to steal chapters online. Although people would anyway.
That's part of well, people will, and I guess that's part of the way the business is.
Piracy's getting
getting ahead of that.
But I do feel like once you catch up like that, like the fandom will sort of peter out in a way where because you don't really have an anime to refresh the enthusiasm for it. And I know like a year or so ago, there was a new anime for it. Although I feel like the gap has been long enough that I don't know if that new season was as well received as previous ones.
Well, we can test that theory in something else. And I forgot to bring this up on Sunday. Even though this has been made known for a little while already, they're going to continue Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card in anime form. Mm-hmm. And they'll try and finish it up in anime form.
It makes sense.
Sure, but
It's not very long.
But it's been like, what, 4 or 5 years since
the first season of Clear Card?
Yeah.
Although that's because like Clear Card was ongoing. So now that the manga
source-
is over, so then they can do that.
But so do you think, yes or no, do you think this delay has hurt it, or it's evergreen, or it's one of those evergreen titles that to bring up a term that we brought up in 81?
I don't think it's as evergreen as it used to be, but I feel like with Cardcaptor Sakura, you're going to get the nostalgia crowd that will tune in for that.
Okay.
It has its diehards because it is one of Clamp's most popular series.
Okay, so the so your answer is maybe not, but probably as close as you can get.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
I just want Clamp to resume one of their other series now.
Tsubasa?
No.
Okay.
I know they have that new sequel series of Tsubasa. I don't actually know if it's on hiatus or if it was just short and sweet. But I'm just like, just resume Holic Ray or resume...
The live action? Is that not good enough?
What live action?
The live action Holic?
It's whatever. Like, what's that other one that I read that I really liked? Gate 7. They need to resume Gate 7 or resume X.
Oh man!
But they're not going to.
Imagine if that were to happen.
I think they're creatively bankrupt with X. They don't know what to do with it, and it's just been too long.
Just remake it.
Yeah, like they did with Drug and Drop.
Yeah.
Which also is on hiatus too, because that was their way of resuming Legal Drug, and that's on hiatus.
Sure, why not?
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know where I read this, but I think their tentative plan was to resume Holic Ray, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, okay. So I did look up. It referred ChatGPT referred to me as an industry professional who has worked as a journalist, editor, and translator. The details are even more funnier than just the basics. So I'll leave it at that. So I was thinking maybe we'll just do our bios based on...
I mean, I feel like if we fed the prompt enough good things about ourselves, it could spit out a nice little bio for us.
It's pretty good. I was I was hilariously impressed. Okay. So let's get to the heart of this one. When we taped the episode on Sunday, I hinted to everybody that one thing I really wanted to do, and to help us meet quota for April.
2 guys, you're getting 2 episodes.
Yep. So we all saw, like, me, you, Kevin, and James, we all went out a couple weeks ago to see Suzume in subtitled form. Mo went to see it when?
Dubbed in IMAX.
A couple days ago.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so that's what we want to talk about, having seen it, but on a bunch of different levels. And okay, I will just come out and right away say, yeah, I enjoyed it.
It was a very enjoyable movie.
But...
Oh no, there's a but?
Well, it's just all the things that the usual...
How dare you, Mike? The internet will be upset.
No more than usual. No more than usual, anyway. I mean, take your pick with just about anything.
When
right?
was the last time the internet, in any capacity, was upset with us?
Never.
Not since like Adam was still around.
Well, right now the attention would be good, but
So Mike, what did you think of the movie, man?
no, I did like it. I mean, it's tough at this point since some things are blurry and it's late enough. We can't. I don't know how much we can get into the particulars of Suzume's plot,
I mean,
but there's a lot of other things.
The plot was very simple.
It was a very simple plot.
Close the door.
Yeah, this is one of the first things they teach you in Left 4 Dead 2, by the way, is to always close the doors when you go through them so that infected don't come through them, or it takes them longer to get through them. But no, she fucking leaves the door open and like
lets the giant worm
and pulls out something she shouldn't have, and then shit goes down.
I do like the metaphor that of this worm being the cause of Japan's earthquakes and so forth.
Well, here's the interesting part. In Shinkai's previous 2 movies.
Yep, disaster movies.
Yeah, they were disaster.
Yeah,
they were
they're fictional disasters,
but they're fictional. And I was wondering.
Oh man, is this gonna happen?
Like, are they really? Is he gonna go into 9/11, 3/11 territory?
Okay, you corrected yourself there.
Yes, but cat's out of the bag. Is he going to go into 3/11 territory? And did he ever?
You know, it really didn't click into me I didn't clue in until my second viewing of the film.
Because yeah, just to clarify now, Kevin's seen it twice.
So when they were heading back to her old house, they were driving by old evacuation sites, and you see signs telling people to evacuate that were old. You saw empty houses. You saw that kind of post accident imagery of just things lying around. And it wasn't until then that I thought, oh, now that I've seen the film a second time or was watching it a second time, it made sense. Didn't really clue into me the first time around.
Well, for me, I figured out that's where they were heading for right away when I saw the signs. Mm-hmm. They were heading for and I'm chewing on a donut at the same time. They were heading for the region. They were heading to the Fukushima region or wherever it was, but certainly a hit area. Mm-hmm. So that just didn't surprise me that this was eventually where it was going to go. Shinkai is always able to talk to the Japanese audience, conveying the story, like getting the emotional punch through some sort of disaster. Like it's a wonderful punctuation. So, and like you hinted at, we knew that like the past two movies, Weathering with You, Your Name, they hinted at fictional disasters. But we knew they also came out at a time in the immediate time, especially Your Name, in the immediate years after 3/11. So, and I think that just without a doubt resonated with his audience there. And outside of Japan, of course, eventually, right? So I was wondering to myself, is he going to do something based on the real one? And he did.
As close as he could.
As much as possible. I think it was, I enjoyed it in that sense. So, but every time a Shinkai movie comes out, especially now, like it comes back to that old discussion that in my head was sparked by Angela. When she said to me, and this was after 5 centimeters per second came out, and she just said, yeah, it's great, but it just feels the same.
But I mean,
and that's always, and in the years since, as he's pivoted slightly, he's made his pivots less and less science fictionary, if that's a word. 5 centimeters was his first move away from it, but he was clear he was going to stay away from being in that science fiction type realm.
A little bit more romance.
A little bit more. And in many respects, over the decade, over this podcast's purgatory, not much had changed, and it felt like it was just solidified with Your Name.
Yes.
And then Weathering with You. And now this. And like, okay, I'm going to pose this yes or no again.
Okay.
At Anime North. When we we actually do the yes or no segment, but I'll pose it now, and then have others think about it. Yes or no? Makoto Shinkai is anime's version of Nickelback.
Oh man, no, come on.
Oh,
there's something.
Do you think that, or do you think I'm insulting him now?
No, that's not true.
It's a slight insult.
Yeah, but not that big because they just got inducted to the Hall of Fame and stuff, right? So,
no, it's just because people don't jokingly mock Makoto Shinkai in the same way as they do Nickelback.
As I just might have. Right?
And I say this as a person who doesn't mind Nickelback stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't love their stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I feel like he needs to do another trilogy. If he does another 3 set of movies like the last 3,
well,
then we can solidify.
Okay, I think we use the term disaster trilogy. Just keep in mind, I will stop short of referring to them as related, because Your Name and Weathering with You, in many respects, were set in the same universe.
True. True.
Oh yeah,
And
they were
Suzume-
in a way, yes, because certain little characters were actually in the film. Yes,
But I never got that sense with Suzume.
neither did I.
So I'm not. I can't. I get it. I understand where some people would like to use that term. It's just I can't for that reason.
Yeah, it's. I think about it this way. I think the film is very good, even though I do think it had some storytelling flaws and shortcomings.
Little pacing issues.
Okay, give me your criticisms now. And
Second act kind of dragged a little bit.
second half.
Where did you feel it dragged?
Not when she was with the kids at that McDonald's. Between that and the blow up with the roommate going on the road trip, I think that entire chunk of the movie could have been like
The blow up with the roommate?
no. So she's hitchhiking, or not really hitchhiking. But gets to ride with the lady and the kids, right?
Yeah, that's the second person.
From that up until the point where she convinces the roommate to drive her to the
Oh, not
location
really
with the-
roommate, the friend.
The friend, right.
Of whose name I forgot, but yes, I know who you're talking about.
Right. So I mean
Yeah.
that whole chunk between so up until that point, awesome, loved it, great. Everything past the point where the mom, her, and the guy are driving, that entire end conclusion is awesome. But that chunk in the middle, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It just could have been tightened up a little bit.
I didn't mind that, to be honest. I feel like, how do I put this? I didn't feel like it dragged out, actually. I just felt like it just went on its merry way because they wanted to show the whole concept of the abandoned sites, because there are a lot of those in Japan.
True.
So that's one little theme that they showed in that first half to first 2/3 of the film.
Right.
And then you get your cute little moments with that fucking cat.
I mean, come on, that chase sequence was amazing. The first chase sequence.
When it just okay, so we
It-
didn't say spoiler alerts, but like presumably you would have seen this film.
Or if you hadn't, we'll try to still keep it spoiler free.
No, this is now your warning.
okay, fine. I
If you
guess
have
we're gonna
not
let it go
seen
then.
if you have not seen the film, stop right now and come back later if you so wish to. But that part on the boat where Daijin just fucking jumps like 10 feet to the next little ship, I'm like, wow, what a fucking troll. What a troll cat. And I was laughing during that part of the scene.
You found
Yeah,
it fun.
especially with the whole music timing of how they end it with the horns. I was like, yes.
It was a good conclusion to a really awesome, cat chase sequence. I did enjoy how the social media aspect of it all.
yes.
Yes, I did. I liked he kind of pulled it into present time in that sense.
Absolutely. I don't like when movies do that ambiguous thing about what time period they're in, where like people have cell phones, but there's no social media kind of situation. I'm like, come on, just have social media. It'd be fun.
Technology, like I in recent anime, I've enjoyed how they kind of use cell phones as a driver, use social media as a driver, and it becomes maybe like either as a driver or as a symbol. I think the first time I saw that was, and this is starting to date it a little bit,
School days?
School Days. Yes, because
I was literally thinking school days too.
I was thinking little
Oh
no
my
because
God.
because that was all
Yes.
text.
Texting, so much texting.
It was great.
Oh,
I was
man.
impressed.
That's good.
Well, it had its other impressive moments, but
like the boat.
Oh man.
That was such a nice boat. Don't you agree, guys?
I was
It
literally
great.
picturing the scenes of him standing in hallways texting, and I'm like, man, if social media was around back then, he'd just be posting, or DMing or some shit. But yeah, it's just
well, if social media was around like that back then, like it is now back then,
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been really bad for her too.
that would have been a hell of a.
No spoilers for School Days, but go watch that.
There's a reboot worth. There's a reboot worth doing
I don't
right
know
there for all the wrong reasons.
Why isn't the CW making that into a hit TV show.
Because they'll just call something else, so that way they don't have to credit the original authors. Those school plots are
all the same, yeah.
all
It's-
the
I guess-
same, yeah.
I think it's the first time we saw like a Western style shock and awe type drama go into an anime. But okay,
See, as a person who watched a lot of those romances adapted from visual novels, yes,
Visual novels.
it was a big shock at the time for me, and I loved it. Yo, like how often do you see an anime where the scumbag main protagonist has sex with all the girls in the show? That is not a hentai. You can't think of one because there wasn't anything like that until then.
yes or so when he and
He had sex with
spoiler
all of them.
Yes, no spoiler. So when he was killed off at the end,
Yeah,
were you cheering?
I wasn't cheering, but I
Because
thought.
I think a lot
You
of
weren't
people
booing.
were.
But I thought, like, yeah,
You
I was
were
not
booing.
booing. I thought, yeah, he deserved it. He deserved it.
Okay. So,
Karma.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back on track here.
You want to guys talk about the product placements for this amazing movie we saw?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
that was funny too, right?
Was it like his third time partnering up with Mickey D's?
yeah.
with
and
everybody?
Lawson
Really?
as well.
Yeah.
Man.
Like
Hold on, why wasn't it a 7-Eleven?
That might have been-
Why was it a Lawson and not a 7-Eleven?
Because Lawson put money down on it.
Oh,
They
man.
didn't censor Lawson's name.
That's true. That's true.
So
Like what James was saying to us, how it's like it's the Japanese male dream to live above a Lawson's.
I'm sure people. I'd like to know if that's the case. How people feel about
Well,
that.
sure, damn convenient, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would.
there you go.
Rent might not be as cheap, but
True.
you can get anything.
To Lawson.
Think. Give me anime that would have been high on product placement.
Weathering with you.
That's true.
Makoto Shinkai.
No,
Code Geass.
yeah,
With Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
Pizza Hut sponsored. Japanese Pizza Hut sponsored.
true that. Tokyo
Code
Godfathers?
Geass.
See, I was thinking Tsukigakure, but even though I think they just changed a letter or two.
Oh, in the North American release of Code Geass, they had to censor that out because they would have needed to
Get permission.
from Pizza Hut US.
Which is weird how it's like not the same company, right? It's like, do you think that, it's just weird.
It's not that far fetched. Well, like A&W in Canada and A&W in the States are owned by two different companies.
True, like Tim Hortons too, right?
Well, Tim Hortons is. I'll say Kit Kat. How's Kit Kat? Because Kit Kat is Hershey in the States, but it's Nestle everywhere else.
Yeah, true.
Right? It's just that they won't release any of the other damn flavors in Canada.
Nah, you gotta import that stuff.
Yeah, you have to go to the
Specialty shops.
or the Asian supermarkets. Yeah.
Anyway,
How'd you guys like the music?
Not too much in your face Radwimps than your name, that's for sure.
Just the right amount of Radwimps.
Well, granted, they still made all the music.
Oh yeah, but like they didn't overpower it.
Yeah, because your name, I felt it was a
much.
little obsessive.
yeah, maybe every half hour a full music video.
Exactly.
I thought that placement of the lyric song at the end was
yeah.
good.
Amazing.
I
Kind of regret not getting tickets for them because they're coming this week.
think it's Wednesday and Thursday, right?
Yep. Yeah.
It's Wednesday and Thursday. So tomorrow and Thursday from when we're taping this at the moment. Okay, so
Okay, so in terms of like little things that did kind of annoy me about this film, like, oh, okay, yes, the cat in general was annoying, but
What?
But Daijin is supposed to annoy you in that sense.
Right. Yes.
So Daijin did its job.
Absolutely.
Although part of me wondered that, okay, Daijin doesn't want to be the keystone anymore.
Gotcha.
So it runs off. Daijin presumably was the one who was opening the doors, but I guess not.
I don't think he was opening up the doors. I think it's more like because he was no longer the keystone, he knew that like, yeah, shit's gonna hit the fan. We'll try to prevent it as best as possible by closing these doors that I know are going to open up because of how this thing works. Because I've been here for so long and I've experienced this beforehand. I know how it's.
But I don't want
done.
to. But I still don't want to be responsible. So I'm gonna fuck
Exactly.
over this guy, and I'm gonna make him the keystone instead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So there's that. I don't know what else to add before I bring up the articles.
Let's talk articles.
So, okay, we talked a little bit about, Makoto Shinkai and not really moving away from his DNA, for better or worse. And in the lead up to the movie coming out on the roughly the 14th, an Associated Press article by Yuri Kageyama with the headline, Shinkai sticking to what he knows best, Japan youth anime. And it just talked about how, as the basically the upshot of a lot of what we just talked about, right? And once again, just to put it out there, all of us enjoyed it. It was visually stunning. I did say that.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's that article, and how Shinkai will probably not really change. Probably never make a live action. He says he's been asked to do it, but he just said
he will. He
couldn't.
definitely will.
He couldn't at this point.
I mean, not now, but he definitely will.
He just said in his translated words, "I'm simply not interested. I enjoy watching films, but there's so much I can do with animation. That's honestly how I feel." And then just talking about Shinkai as a person, and how he probably and maybe how his own personality resonates so much with his audience, because in many respects he feels he's a lot like them with his own anxieties, right? He considers himself an otaku, but in the more positive sense, the gentle loner, I think was a phrase that Kageyama used in the article. And maybe having your anxieties and how sometimes your past kind of informs those anxieties. Haunting nightmares, I think, was a phrase. Aren't those feelings you had as a teen still within you? Have they totally disappeared? At night, I still have those dreams when I am still a student. For those fears and those earnings will never leave you. They are always there. That's how the article ends, with a quote, with one of Shinkai's quotes. So there's this article, and in many respects, it reinforces some of the faults we find in Shinkai's work these days. Mm-hmm. But then you contrast that with a Looper article that came out basically around the same time, but was made more known over the last,
24 hours?
Yeah, made more widely known. The Looper article came out actually on the same day, or is published on the same day that I see from the Associated Press article. And this was written by Ruben Barron, but the headline just said, Makoto Shinkai says Suzume was almost a lesbian romance. But I think that was more for shock value because when you read more into it,
he just was downplaying the relationship between Suzume and the chair.
Sota.
So
I'm sorry, he's a chair for most of the movie. The chair.
But
Sota the chair.
But at the very least, reading that article made me, and reading the two articles kind of made me think about the differences and how this was a little different from his DNA, from the DNA of his past movies, right? So it was like Shinkai will always said in the Looper article, it wasn't, what is it? Oh, it wasn't really the narrative. So it just doesn't seem like the narrative that he wanted to go with. I'm just skimming the article at the moment. Yeah, but he talked a little bit more about that part of that thinking, and he just said it wasn't really part of the narrative. And what's the other phrase from this? Claim maybe, and if he wanted to go that way, he was kind of talked out of it by a producer.
Well, if it was convincing enough, I don't see what the problem would have been.
It's what's the thing is he said if this was the seemingly if this was the vision, he was talked out of it, but he had to rework a lot of it in the process. So it became more of a, it was less boy meets girl and just a rediscovery type thing. Mm-hmm. And when I think about it, and as I think about it more and more, as I in the days since I've watched it, it really wasn't it felt like it did downplay it, and it came to the point, and I came away after the movie. I came away that maybe some parts of it felt unnecessary.
Like what?
The Ferris wheel scene, right? We can agree on that.
Yeah. No, there's a part of me that really.
What do you mean?
Come on.
Okay, if I was expecting the boy meets girl trope, I'm not totally. Now I came away from it thinking.
I mean, I will. Yeah, it's good that it wasn't in there. That was not.
Was it really necessary? I think you could have gone without it.
I mean, it wasn't even in there that much, right?
No.
I mean, okay. Granted, yes. If he had not been a chair for most of the movie, that would have been a bigger storyline. But I feel like because he was a chair for most of the movie, her kind of falling for him in the way that she did is acceptable, I guess. But even then, it's like she's like what, 16? So she shouldn't be acceptable.
Isn't she in the last year of middle school in Japan, which would be 9th grade?
Yeah, makes sense.
But we're 12 years on. We're 12 years on. So, but we're 12 years on. Well, how old would she have been in during 311? That would have been 2011. We're talking 12 years on.
She was 4, yeah.
So that would put her at roughly 16.
Yeah.
So that would put her in. That would put her as
exactly. Yep. 16.
In second, maybe third year.
Yeah.
See, in Japan, it's fine because, I assume it's fine because I believe their age of consent is lower still.
Yo, but how about that coworker, bro?
Which coworker?
Her mom's coworker.
What about him?
I mean, come on, man. That was pretty funny. He had glasses on.
I'm trying to remember.
He drove around a couple of times. Was really worried about her.
Oh, about the aunt, though.
Oh, the aunt. Yeah, the aunt and his.
Sorry, in my mind, the aunt's technically her mom. Whatever. I guess her mom.
Her guardian. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. It's yeah.
And then the yeah. But there's that, and I just came away thinking to myself, it was a driver in some ways, but not the point. Because I think it was I think the point of the movie was with her coming to terms with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, for that guy that likes the aunt, I was surprised they got Shota Somitani to voice that guy. He's a big actor in Japanese live action. I was like, whoa, they gave him this role? Okay.
Felt minor, didn't it? So there's,
and I say that because Shinkai generally will get live action actors and actresses to voice act.
Well, on that note,
most of his films, he very rarely will get
traditional
established voice
seiyuu.
actors.
Yes. On that note, we should mention Mone Kameishi, the star of Your Name. She's appearing in a live action version of Spirited Away that's presently being shown on in theaters in the U.S. by G Kids.
Yeah, and that's coming later this month too. I think it's
out in the States now. Is it coming up here?
Yeah, I did see Cineplex screening showings for it.
Okay,
but it's on their schedule.
On that note, and she is a law. I think even before Your Name. But she has become very much an established live action.
Yeah, main cast
theater star
is virtually always going to be not actual actors, but actors that are in Japanese TV
quote
and
unquote
movies.
Mainstream actors when it comes to Japan.
So in this case, Kana Hanazawa, who's a very established seiyuu, she's in this film,
and she played the aunt, I believe.
No, she played the mom.
Oh, the voice of the late
Yes.
mom. Okay. So there's like, but it was just weird because now you see this. So the Looper article is suggesting he is trying to get out of his comfort zone just a little, like little by little.
I mean, he's not
but
gonna,
enough
he's
to
not
notice.
He's not going to say he's not trying to get out of his comfort zone. I mean, that'd be kind of weird, right?
Well, that's also what isn't that the impression that the first article gave?
True. He's been doing a lot of interviews, right? A lot of publicity for this now.
But
So-
even though you like, we can criticize Shinkai all we want, it's not as if his films are necessarily bad or mediocre.
This is not, and we're not saying that.
And because I don't know if you could say the same thing about Mamoru Hosoda.
No, definitely not.
I feel like his films feel a little more samey.
Yeah, because they're
Over
like
the
all
years.
insane. They're samey insaneness.
Granted, I haven't seen his last film, but
I guess this is what the spotlight does to you, though, right? I mean, Shinkai has that type of spotlight on him now, right? And people will look to pick away. Mind you, we were having this debate about him, like during version 1
yeah, we've had this debate on and off
for
quite a while.
Yeah, for basically 12 years, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, it's more.
I take the over on that.
Yeah. Well said.
I do think Shinkai has a bit of a foot fetish.
Back to that again. Okay.
Come on.
Well, but
Yes, he has some feet shots in there.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not Tarantino level of foot fetish, but I think
I
it's
don't think
there.
anything's that.
it's just I as I said, we're
Just like with Hosoda and his furry fetish.
in many respects, I just want to at least put these thoughts out there right now, and then ask ourselves, what will we see next? What's from Shinkai?
I'm gonna assume some kind of movie centered around a girl, maybe in high school of some kind, and then she'll do something, and then travel to somewhere.
But keep in mind one other thing. Remember, he hints. Okay, it's one of those. He makes it for a Japanese audience. He's tickled pink about the idea of having an international audience.
Oh man, do you think he's gonna set this in like Chicago or something?
Well, he admits that he would have to know if he's going to set it somewhere else. He has to really know about the
man,
place.
Toronto.
Yeah, I
As
remember
in
reading this.
live in it for a little
Man,
while.
what if he comes to Toronto and just lives here for a while?
That'd be cool.
It'd be cool, but not Scott Pilgrim level cool.
I mean,
But Scott Pilgrim had like a decade plus head start.
True.
Right? So this is just stuff that just pop in my head and make me wonder. Okay, what is he going to do next?
Has he been hinting at what he's gonna do next?
Now I'm not. You can't. Well, I think you just get a general idea through the first article, but you just can't take any more guesses after. Like,
True. I mean,
you just make more guesses
Right.
after reading the second.
I'll just allow myself to be surprised.
Yeah.
I think that might be the joy in all of this. If he wants to move away from the boy meets girl, great. Because I think when I think about it, the downplaying of that in Suzume, and then the like just coming to terms with, I thought was really, really refreshing in that sense. Like this is my initial takeaway felt Nickelbackish, but the more I thought about it, and the more I reflected on it in the 10 days since, I grew to kind of appreciate that. So, just a thought as we move along. It's just that the other thing is, remember, just the other thing that kind of popped out in the Looper article to me was, well, Shinkai wanted to make this more, more of a lesbian romance, but he was kind of talked out of it by a producer. Remember the term I said? As Japanese pop culture becomes a bit more popular coming out outside of Japan, it'll happen kicking and screaming with at some points. And I think that's one of those kicking and screaming
Yeah,
ideas.
it's kind of weird that they're not like
'Cause-
as up to date on that over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it.
Right? He said, so too early for the Japanese market to accept a romance between two women. And it was the first time, and Shinkai kind of talked about this. Yeah, he felt, okay, why I even want to go in that direction in the first place is because I personally felt a little bit tired of the very traditional romance story. Cool. Did that impossible. I did everything that I could possibly in everything I possibly could do with that in Your Name. So he wanted to make it more sisterhood type romantic story. In many respects, I think he did. He accomplished it with who Suzume met. Right?
You mean, what do you mean? Like the girl she met?
Like the various women, the various
road
women he
trip,
met on
the
road
ladies he
trips.
meet along the way. Yeah,
Yeah, in his road trip.
the orange lady, the lady with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love when she kind of saved the oranges from
Yeah.
rolling down the hill, or more like Sota did. But
Yeah, but
I really liked their dynamic.
yeah, there was, and then he just said, I think it's his last sentence in this quote. In my future films as well, I want to focus on that human story as opposed to too much commentary on gender or sex.
Yeah,
In many respects, I think that's what he was starting to do that in this. And maybe that's why I appreciated the way this story went even more. Right? Can I make a book recommendation? Because if you enjoyed this, I will make a book recommendation. I will, and I've enjoyed this book a lot. And maybe if you liked this, you might, and you give yourself the time to read this book, I think it might be, some people will appreciate some of the parallels. Around the time, almost a decade ago, there was this book called A Tale for the Time Being by a Japanese-Canadian author, I think it is, by the name of Ruth Ozeki. And it's actually kind of is set in the same 311 backdrop in many respects. I'm just going to leave it at that. And after seeing Suzume, I think of this novel. So if you, my youngest sister had a copy of it. I borrowed it. I had it for like months during the pandemic, but I never really picked it up. Then when I finally read it, I couldn't put it down. So I'll make that. I want to put that out there as a recommendation, just if you liked Suzume, because I think you'd find this one fascinating too. Because in many ways, like, and I'm saying this out loud now, but it's just I find them very similar in some respects.
man. Okay.
Okay. I think I'm pretty sure I mentioned the book before one time on this podcast, but I'll mention it here now. And leave that to all the listeners. You can probably get you can probably find it in a library, whether it's in physical or digital form, since we had that discussion on Sunday. And maybe I'll just leave it there. Okay.
Well, okay, I do have one question to ask you too.
Okay, and
This is involving the film's climax when they do the deed and they finally...
Oh, is it the fight? The fight with the in the underworld?
Yeah, so when they go into... she finds the door that she first walked into. And
Right, because the other thing was that she was magic the entire time.
she was what?
She was magic the entire time, hence why she could see everything.
yeah, well, yeah.
You know, it's not just that she was some random person who happened to walk by, but no, she's the main protagonist, everyone. She was magic.
So it's basically when, her and Daijin and Sadaijin, who shows up later on, comes in. So Sadaijin turns big and fights the worm, and then Daijin and Suzume go and find Sota,
Who's now the new key?
who has since become the Keystone. I feel like Daijin suddenly being okay with turning back into a Keystone after all was a bit of a cop out.
Oh, totally, 100%. I mean,
there's a lot of weird, yeah. And then she realized, oh, this is and I can't bear it.
I think it would have been better if Daijin was like, I'm sorry, it's irreversible. We got to leave before we die. And then
so it's like
she becomes his pet or something.
Because it's like you made them go through all that shit.
Yeah.
And then now you're saying, oh yeah, you know what? I realize you two love each other. Okay, fine. I'll turn back. That's what it felt like to me.
No, true.
I like that. I like the way you put that. That kind of comes back to, remember I just said kicking and screaming.
Yep.
That's the kicking and screaming
100%.
I was talking about.
And I also found it a little strange where when they introduced Sadaijin in full, because the very first scene of Sadaijin is when you see it at the hospital after Suzume leaves, and Sota's grandfather sees Sadaijin there.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was Daijin the first time around, but then I realized on my second viewing, oh, that was Sadaijin.
The other Keystone.
Who's the Tokyo Keystone, yes. Yeah. So what kind of didn't make sense to me was how Sadaijin kind of just shows up during that scene when Suzume and her aunt are arguing, and how she couldn't take how Suzume wasn't telling her anything, and so she couldn't help but start to vent her frustrations on her. And then you can tell that partway through, it seems as if Sadaijin kind of
inhabited
her.
Possessed her.
Yeah.
She was possessed. That's the way I looked at it, for starters.
Yeah.
Just so many.
Poor Tamaki. Oh, love the aunt.
Yeah. I really don't know. That's why I just thought, I came away thinking, okay, maybe this is there's certain aspects I really wondered the necessity of.
So it felt like that scene kind of just escalated to a point, but then it suddenly de-escalated at the same time.
Oh yes, quick tap.
So it felt a little weird. Didn't flow as smoothly as I thought it could, or maybe there could have been some sort of fight between the two cats, which there kind of was, but it kind of was nothing in the end.
Yeah, it was just
obviously one's huger than the other. So.
But you've seen it twice. You've now seen it twice, right? So
yeah,
and some of it is a blur at the moment. So I would like to have that second look. Truth be told, we almost went to see it a second time, or in your case, a third time.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it in English.
So we were going to try and check out the dub on GP Tuesdays.
GP Tuesdays.
Oh yeah. To those listening, that my second time was in D box as well.
The seats move.
Okay, how did they move on you before we go tonight?
Oh, it moved. Like I wouldn't have paid for it myself, so my friend was gracious enough to buy me my ticket for the D box showing because he used his scene points.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, using your scene points, that tends to melt the piracy.
But I have a lot to use myself, by the way.
Certain times when characters were moving, especially when Sota, the chair, was moving, you would feel that at times. Not in every scene, but in various scenes, you felt that.
I think the first cheek take sequence, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There were certain moments when you have a first person view of the area, whether it was Sota or if it was Suzume, and you see the look. They sometimes look left to right, and so it did tilt like that.
Those are amazing sequences, like the landscapes and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, the visuals were just amazing.
Like big impact scenes, like when you hear earthquake rumblings.
Oh yeah.
That would feel
awesome.
Oh yeah,
that would be great. Yeah.
So I would say they definitely.
But
you plenty of opportunities for the seats to move for D-Box.
And they did take advantage, despite what. See, the thing is, you two have had two different experiences with it that are two. Like you experienced IMAX,
and you've experienced D-Box,
and you experienced D-Box.
And what if he switched and you experienced IMAX and I experienced D-Box?
I would only go see an IMAX if someone paid for my ticket because I know I didn't feel like it would have been worth IMAX for me.
I mean. Yeah.
Just because, like, the vast majority of animated films of that kind are not made with IMAX in mind.
No. I mean, it's still nice looking, you know.
Yeah, like the screen's bigger, and I'm sure the sound's nicer. But like, I don't because I'm kind of that stickler. And if that film was not made for IMAX, I'm not willing to pay.
You know
for
what the
it.
worst is when it's like part of it's filmed in IMAX and you get the aspect ratio changes in between shots.
Ugh.
It's like this one awesome scene that was in IMAX. Back to our normal 19:9,
16:9, right?
16:9, yeah.
See, like the ones that are made with IMAX in mind, like just films in general, like say like later Avengers films or the Avatar movies.
Avatar, especially, yeah. Tenet.
I would even say Dune.
Oh, Dune. We'll be like 6 months away, man.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I will try and see that within the first 1 or 2
And
weeks.
you'll actually pay. And you'll actually pay for that.
And I will pay for it. Yes.
When Ford said he was moving the Science Center to Ontario place, I'm like, please don't get rid of the IMAX theater. That's the only thing we gotta care about. And he's not getting rid of it because that place is awesome.
He's gonna get rid of it.
God, he's not gonna. Yeah, over our dead bodies, bro. He'll get rid of it.
Oh, are you secretly like
95 year
work
90
for
year lease,
like
90 year
gangs
lease to the
organization,
spa.
Mo?
That was announced
That's what
today.
it's gonna have to take.
90-year lease to the spa today, by the way.
Oh man.
You're like unless you like have connections that we're not aware of, Mohammed. I don't see how this will work.
Anyway, but there's some of our general thoughts, and you know the whole idea with the Space Eater anyway is to either continue a discussion or start another version of it. So, any last thoughts?
In terms of Shinkai's films, for the two of you, where would you rank this film relative to the rest of his films?
That's tough. I think this is like 2, I guess, on a scale.
Like 2 out of like you think it's his second best film?
There you go.
Okay.
See, the thing is, remember I've always said sometimes there's a first love, and no matter how it really should rank, it'll always be at your top.
Yeah, that's why everything's your second best. You know, you never want to give out your first best. You guys know what that
You
is.
give up your first love in that sense.
Okay, so,
So
where would you put it?
Third?
Probably third.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like
Weathering?
it's
No,
no,
five
5 cm and Your Name, but it's almost a toss up because they can, depending on the argument,
Could go either.
either you could flip. I could flip 1 and 2, right? Because 5 cm had that emotional punch, and in many respects, for me, Your Name refined it and may have perfected the Shinkai formula in that sense.
That's how I see it too. Yeah.
And then I just thought, okay, he's perfected it. No use playing with it anymore. And and in one sense, he may have deviated with Weathering with You. It didn't hold the same punch for me.
I agree.
Now, if you're going to ask me about the Disaster trilogy, this is number 2. Your Name was number 1.
Exactly.
And Weathering with You is by far number 3 in all of
I
this.
think we have the same top 3 because, and I say this, I actually do say this with objectivity that 5 centimeters per second is still his best film. Mm-hmm. And I think Your Name is number 2 because of what you said, in that his past experiences with his films accumulated into Your Name. Like, and that the result of everything he did before, he put into this, and it was successful as a result.
Yeah. But the thing is, with 5 cm, if there were flaws in it, you got to see those and I think appreciate those. Like whatever holes you may have seen, whatever like rawness you would have seen, because I think that was like his 3rd or 4th real thing.
That was technically his 4th, but his 3rd
Feature?
feature. I guess it depends on if you view Voices of a Distant Star as a feature, because you could say that it wasn't.
Because there was she and her
and
cat.
She and Her Cat, you wouldn't consider that a feature either. So I guess in a sense, maybe it was his second feature, because
Place Promised was
the
really
first. Yes, in that
and
sense.
then, so, like, we knew he was still, starting out and rather young. And this was and obviously that was early enough in his career. And then, remember, Your Name comes more than a decade later.
Yeah, I would say...
Or, I don't want to say more than a decade, but almost a decade later.
Yeah, after those 3, I would say... the Foot Fetish movie is my next favorite film. Otherwise known as The Garden of Words.
Get back to me on my opinions of his other works, because they're all blurry to me right now because of the purgatory of the podcasts, the in between eras.
Yeah, I still haven't finished watching Children Who Chase Lost Voices because that was during an anime screening, like an anime club screening back in university, and then because I believe I was part of the exec team, I couldn't fully pay attention the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I did watch Place Promised in our early days back when Crunchyroll was doing those Shinkai Day screenings, but honestly don't remember a lot of that film now.
Yeah.
Which I guess tells you how much I think of it. Because with 5 centimeters, I still remember that very well.
Yeah, many of us do. And I think it was also the one that kind of started to solidify some of the way Makoto Shinkai handles the media mix in his own way, because manga,
Yeah, because
light novel.
yeah, because in the past you would say that like his main theme was just like that sense of loss, which I don't feel like is as strong nowadays. Which I guess that is an indication of him changing.
But then again, that's sort of what Suzume. It's more like coming to terms with loss.
Yeah,
not the raw emotion of the loss itself, but maybe just understanding how to really start to move on. Because that's sort of where I came away thinking afterwards.
Yeah,
Right. Just moving on from it, not the actual thing and its immediate dealing with it. So, as I said, can't wait to see what's next.
yeah.
I really cannot wait to see what's next. And maybe there is now this willingness for him to break out of his comfort zones, or the comfort zones that that we think he's established. And maybe that's what makes what could happen next so interesting and so intriguing. And with that Looper article, his expression that could be happening soon. It's just that he'll do it just like everything else. He'll do it on his own terms, which I think is something to really, really look forward to.
Also,
Okay, I know as we've been talking, you two, has anything come up that we should be aware of before we say goodnight?
oh no, I was just gonna say, shout out to Tomoya Serizawa, the friend of Sota, who such a real one.
Dude, he was such a real one.
Oh my god, what a guy to just drive two
Random ladies.
to
Random
two
ladies.
total strangers.
It's like halfway across the country. Like if someone's just like you're your friend.
And you know what he gets out of it at the end.
Well, hopefully he
I don't think
paid
so.
back
Did
his
he?
friend. Hopefully he paid back Sota, because he was saying how Sota owed him money, but really it was the other way around.
You know what I was just thinking? It was something else.
I mean, I know, Mike. Come on, man.
What do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know. What are we gonna say?
I just hope his car's okay.
No, they eventually got it
Repaired?
repaired, or like at least enough to run, because
I love the duct tape at the end.
because when everything wrapped up, Tomoya was there with Tamaki, so
True.
how else was he supposed to get there? Did he really walk all that way? I don't know, maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Guess he got some help in the end. Got a tow truck. I don't know.
I'll say this much though about Suzume. I'll add that to my shelf beside your name and Weathering with You.
I love
the
how
box there.
And I love how he played the song where he was telling it was the song about the women, like, stop fighting over me kind of thing, which was kind of like obviously done in jest.
Spotify, yeah.
Spotify, back to some of the technology.
I love that product
him being
placement.
so up to date on technology for the time. That was impressive.
And there was a subtle Ghibli reference there. Well, subtle, but there was a Ghibli reference there too, apparently, because
What other there's another product placement for something else there.
And yeah, he does use real songs.
True.
Like
no,
songs
that
would've
song was
existed.
in a Ghibli film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's a reference you were looking at? Or is there
One of
another?
them, yeah.
Okay, do you remember the other, or shall we just save that for episode 82?
Well, there was the
Or next,
There's McDonald's, obviously.
or
and then
next-
there was
or
something
next
else
Space
in
Eater
between
chat,
there.
right?
Well, no, there was the scene when they did the first round of Daijin's social media posts, and the girl was like, "Oh, it's like from Whispering of the Heart."
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
there
I
you go,
remember
there you go,
that.
there you
Yeah,
go.
okay, well done. Well done. Well, he is a fan, right? He's an otaku himself.
Yeah.
But there's our thoughts, and James, I know, will chime in. I hope Amy is able to. hope she gets the chance to see the movie, and then we'll hear how much they disagree with everything we said.
The dub was really good. I will say
yeah?
that.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Which is
Maybe-
nice. You know,
maybe
we had like
after-
a real actress to do Suzume, so it was like, although I shouldn't say that voice actors are actresses. She's like a TV movie. You know.
Oh,
what I'm talking
she is like a movie / television actress then.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
Okay. But there's some thoughts. I wouldn't say before you see the movie, but some thoughts from us after we've seen it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, so what was it like to come back here to do this in person?
This was
Good.
nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, Mike. I'm always down to do live recordings.
Well, you know what? The thing is over my next. Remember, I have a table at the Nomi for Anime North. We got to start rummaging. I think we got to do our annual.
Oh, another one? That'd be
Yes.
awesome from last time.
I wish we could tape some of this. It would make for a great comedy sketch.
Man, like have a portable mic or something. Let's go down there with like a video camera.
This would be
we can stream the vault.
Yeah, I think it would be a hilarious thing to do. Any Twitchers out there? Any streamers out there who want to help us, or any YouTubers out there who want to help us with this little project?
It's a little closet full of stuff. It's like a treasure trove. It's like small.
You will have. Trust me. If you want to, if anybody wants to come along for this ride, I will make this. We can make this worth your time. We can make this worth your time. Trust me on this. So contact us. Twitter and Instagram at Anime Roundtable, animeroundtable@gmail.com. Our website to be updated, we hope, within the year, animeroundtable.com. And if we actually do make a video, YouTube, twitch.tv/Anime Roundtable.
Since this is going out before the other episode, TCAF's happening. Digital Marketplace is already open. Good friend of mine, Robert's doing a piece over there, so he's selling some merch. So check it out.
Yeah, and this episode we hope will be up within 48 hours of its taping or less.
Yeah.
So give those a listen, okay?
Links in the description, guys. Check it out. And Anime North in like a month, so that's good too.
Mm-hmm. And we'll figure out what the hell we're doing there soon enough. But it's late enough. I think let's go get something to eat. see, we're finished. We finished the donuts. I think we've had dessert before we've had dinner.
Isabella, I never do get the glazed, just because the other pretty flavors take my attention. But now that I finally see the regular glazed, I'm curious how this one will turn out.
I was gonna double up on the chocolate one because I also feel the same way about the glazed, but I'm like, might as well get one of each.
Yeah.
Plus, the girl there seems so
Happy?
like she was like spaced out. I guess I didn't want to have her figure out math and shit.
Well, yeah. Well, as I said, we're done. We just finished dessert, so I guess we're gonna.
Is our unofficial sponsor?
Yeah, just for
No,
this episode.
no. It's an unofficial, not an unofficial sponsor, an unofficial endorsement. There you go.
Yeah.
Placement.
Thanks for listening. Talk to you after dinner.